Hello everyone, it's Will here again, back on the Waterstones vlog. I'm here just with a very quick vlog this week, partly inspired by the fact that I have just interviewed the author Carlo Rovelli downstairs in our cafe, and it has inspired me to talk to you about this book, his latest book, which is called The Order of Time. Carlo Rovelli is a theoretical physicist whose previous book, 7 Brief Lessons on Physics, was a massive bestseller. And part of the reason for that, I think, and the reason why I enjoyed reading this book so much, is because he has a way of explaining very complicated ideas and theories with great sort of simplicity and precision, and in ways that sort of make your brain have these little mind-blown moments where he explains something that's sort of people have been wrestling with for hundreds of years, and you just kind of go, oh, of course, that's how that is. And that makes it a very enjoyable read, and it means that you can often feel sort of quietly smug and quite clever for a while until he moves on to the next thing, and then you think, oh, I don't understand that at all. So it requires a bit of work on your part as you're reading. As you might guess, The Order of Time is all about time. It's about how we perceive time, the different ideas of time through history, and why we might need to undo some of our thinking about how time works. Now, as I said, I've had a chance to speak to Carlo about this book and about these ideas, and if I'm right, hopefully that interview will be ready at the same time as this vlog will be ready. So you should, if you're watching this on YouTube, see a little thing pop up to tell you that you can go and watch that interview. If you're watching this somewhere else, not on YouTube, why are you doing that? Come and follow us on YouTube. Come and subscribe to us, then you'll know when all the vlogs are coming. But anyway, there is an interview with Carlo in which we talk about some of the brilliant concepts and ideas in his book and the brilliant way that he explains them. So I don't want to rehash too many of those here, but basically, our idea of time as something that has past, present and future, something that flows in a linear fashion, all of these things need to be sort of undone and unpicked because they don't quite work when looking at particularly the quantum world, when looking at that sort of very small level of how the world works. And the other thing, of course, is that this idea that what really exists is the present. That's quite tricky too, because the idea of the present, when is the present? You say it's now, you're seeing me right now, but of course it takes time for the light from my face to reach the camera, just a few nanoseconds, but that means that when I'm saying the p of present, it's already in the past. So it's just this is a tricky thing, time. You're watching that sort of little counter on this video, probably thinking, when will it get to the end? Not long. But that idea of time flowing through there, that doesn't quite work either. It's just lovely to have these sort of very, very tricky, complicated ideas unpacked beautifully in this book. There are some nice illustrations in there to illustrate some of the ideas. They use Smurfs, some of them, which gives you an idea of Carlo Rovelli's sense of humour. And on the whole, they're very, very simple. They're there to give you a sort of just a slight visual understanding of what he's talking about. And then towards the end of the book, he starts to talk about his own ideas about time, to do with his own work in quantum loop gravity, which I do not understand yet, but I will get there. And that's when you really start to have to work, I think, as a reader, is towards the end of the book, because these ideas are not set in stone. They are contested by other people who work in his field, but it's really interesting to kind of just to push the envelope a little bit and kind of go, maybe that's how the world works. So I think if you have enjoyed reading those kind of popular science books, and I think in particular we're talking about those really big ones like Stephen Hawking's book, A Brief History of Time, I think that is the level at which we're talking here. In fact, some reviews have compared him to Stephen Hawking, and I think if you're looking for somebody who is working at the very top of their field but who has an ability to talk to the layman like me about those complicated issues, then this is a great, great way to do it. Having just spoken to him, I know that he is a hugely cultured man, and so you will find in this book there are quotations from philosophers, from other works of literature, there are song lyrics, you know, it has a wide cultural source material which is brilliant for explaining ideas, but also because what he's trying to show is that time is absolutely fundamental to how we work as human beings, and how we live our lives is absolutely governed by how we perceive time to pass, and it feeds into our anxieties and our fears and our memories and our hopes for the future. So it's one of those works which is science, but which also has a sort of philosophical element to it, which is very, very enjoyable. So there we go, The Order of Time by Carlo Rovelli in this beautiful little hardback, which is out now. Follow the link through to the interview, which hopefully you will enjoy, and come back and join us next week for more vlogging action. See you then. Take care.